Hello and welcome to Once.Upon.a.Hot.Take. We have a super exciting special episode for you today. We are interviewing Samantha of the Benevolent Ball company, who is putting on the Fractured Heavens Masquerade Ball coming up this fall in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So we're talking to her a little bit about the ins and outs of planning a ball on this scale, what that looks like, and we hope you enjoy our conversation. Well, we have a super special guest that we're very excited about today. Her name is Samantha, and we will let her introduce herself to you and tell us why she's talking to us today.
Exciting stuff. Okay, so hello everybody. I'm Samantha. I am the host of the Benevolent Ball, which is a Wisconsin-based fantasy ball company. We are going into our second year, which is kind of why we're here today. We're talking a little bit about the Benevolent Ball Fractured Heavens Masquerade. So, exciting stuff.
Yes, which we are stoked about. Okay, yeah.
Did we know it was called Fractured Heavens when we talked before?
We might not have. No, I don't remember.
I don't know.
Certain things were announced. No, yeah, so it is the Fractured Heavens Masquerade this year. So, which is really fun. So we just talk about all the theme stuff, which comes along with that.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited. I was like, I think I'm already hearing new information.
Tell me more. What is a fantasy ball? Because I was sort of new to this game, and I saw a little Instagram ad, and I was like, what? These are things? So give us the overview of what this even is.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I have like a love-hate relationship with this question, because I've discovered that if you're a fantasy person and I explain it to you, you're like, yes, this makes so much sense. But if you're not, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't know if I could explain it to that, whatever. But essentially, a fantasy ball is a black tie gala type event set in the fantasy immersive world. So there's live performances that are like either music, sometimes there's like fire throwing, sometimes there's LED lights or the dancer. It's a whole thing. It's a big production. Sometimes there's cast to kind of help give you that immersive storyline throughout the night. There's quest options for people to participate in. Very thematic, very highly decorated venues. It is basically meant to just be a big production to give people a night away from reality to step into the fantasy, essentially. So the way that I kind of word it to people is it's if you took Ren Fair After Dark mixed with a murder mystery gala.
Ooh,
Yes,
I love that.
All of that.
Me too.
Thing.
That was well done. That was a very succinct response, and I feel like you're hitting all the people. The fantasy people are like, yes, I can picture the world I'm looking for. People who are like, what is fantasy? Ooh, gala, I get it. Yeah, that was well done. I like that.
I've had a lot of practice.
Yeah. So now this is just kind of off the cuff. Have you ever, how many balls have you like attended? Not as necessarily a planner, but that you've gone to.
So I've been to two separate balls. One of them, when I kind of knew I wanted to get into this a little bit, was the Yule Ball put on by Second Star Events. It was in San Francisco.
Oh.
And that was kind of when I realized I was like, there's nothing local for this type of event that actually we could attend. And so I was like, maybe I kind of want to do this. And then I of course was like, hey, my husband, you're coming with me to this. I don't really care if you think it's weird. But we ended up going. It was a fantastic time, like in this really beautiful big venue, and like everybody was dressed to like the nines, and like there was like someone was wearing like 10-foot like wide like angel wings, like somebody was in like a like pixie like sugar plum fairy kind of thing. It was just like everything under the sun that you can imagine was there, and it was amazing. And then the other one that I attended, I think it was like 2 weeks after I actually had my first ball here in Wisconsin, was the Enchanted Kingdom Ball, and they have year 5 of their ball. Like they're really well established. And that one's just like a bunch of different courts. Kind of, I mean, like Enchanted Kingdom, if you could picture it, it's kind of that essential kind of thing. So those are the two that I've attended separately outside of mine. I'm hoping to attend more as like they start to pop up a little bit more locally, but that one was also in Indiana. So I've had to travel out of the state for everything. So yeah, but
wow. So we are super lucky
stoked
that you're doing this in Green Bay, nice and local for us.
I know.
I cannot tell you how excited I was when I was scrolling Instagram randomly and I saw like just a little like another fantasy ball thing, and it was like Green Bay, Wisconsin. I was like, oh, what? Like, and I thought maybe it was one of those that like had already happened and I missed it. I was like, no, it's coming up in the fall. Yes.
So like the first one I started promoting and advertising it about a year in advance, and people were like, is this next year? Is this year? And I was like, no, it's next year. And they were like, why are you like advertising this so early? I'm like, because at this point, this was prior to like, there's another fantasy ball company that did pop up in Wisconsin, which I love. But this was prior to that, and I was like, if people are traveling for this, they need time to like request off work, book a hotel. Like, there's a lot more like planning that goes into this, because this is a destination kind of event for a lot of people. So I was like, you need the time to, you know, be able to show up, I guess. So
yeah, get your duckies in a row.
Yes.
So, what is the date of this ball? Just so we can get that out there right off the top.
The Fractured Heavens Masquerade is November 13th and 14th of 2026. The 13th is the Friday night, and that is partially included if you purchase a VIP ticket. There's like a welcome party, or if you do an add-on, you could add that party on. And then Saturday, the 14th, is the actual day of market and the actual Benevolent Ball.
There's a lot that we're going to have to talk about yet.
Yes.
But
yes,
before I lose my train of thought, do you have plans to track where people have traveled to come to the ball?
Okay, so at our previous one, that was one of my questions, was like, where are you traveling from? And we had people come from like South Dakota. That was the like furthest, I think, location we had. We had Sarah Klein, so like Tall Glass of Klein was like our influencer last year. She came from New York. So technically that was the furthest person, but the furthest everyday Joe kind of person was from South Dakota, which I thought was really cool. So they just like drove over, and otherwise it was like a lot of like Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois kind of thing. So yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Ooh, so exciting. Okay, cool. Well, I hope you track it again this year, because that's awesome.
Like fun little like factoids. You're like, ooh.
Can't wait until you hit both the coasts at the same
Oh
time.
man. Bam, bam, boom.
Yeah, or like all four corners. Oh, something cool. That would be fun.
So why don't you talk to us more about like the name of this specific ball and kind of what inspired that and where that came from?
Yeah, okay, so 2 parts. So the brand essentially is the Benevolent Ball, and kind of the story behind that is growing up, my dad was a police officer, and I was very involved in volunteering with things, and I always kind of just had a place in my heart where I liked being able to give back in some capacity. So part of the Benevolent Ball itself is supposed to be an act of benevolence. So like 10% of the proceeds from the ball go towards an art or literature nonprofit that are voted on by the attendees. So when people buy a ticket, they actually can like nominate a Wisconsin-based like art or literature nonprofit, and then like they vote on it at the ball itself, and then that's like where 10% of the proceeds come from. So that's where like the Benevolent Ball came from, because in my mind, all of like those arts and like literature areas are like the thing that keep like a little bit of magic alive, like in our world. So that was kind of like where I wanted to like support that a little bit. When it comes to like the Fractured Heavens Masquerade part of things, so like my favorite like book series of all time, or like book world, is the Shadowhunter universe, which a lot of people read in middle school. But that was like my intro to fantasy like as an adult. And so like that's kind of where the inspo for this ball came from, which is kind of supposed to be like the angels and demons and that whole vibe. So that was kind of where the Fractured Heavens Masquerade thing came from. And it's a unique story though, so it's like inspired by like the books, but the actual storyline that's created that our cast is gonna like do throughout the night and all that stuff is very like original to my cast handler person. She's like my story guru, whatever you want to call her. She's created a whole world for what this is going to actually be, and so that's kind of where that came from though. So
so cool. that's the City of Bones book that I said I want to go back and reread, because it was also, I remember absolutely loving it in high school.
Yes.
But I have no recollection whatsoever about what the story is about. So I was like, I need to remember why I loved this.
Her world, also like the Shadowhunter world, like grew so much, because there was like the original like 6 books, which is like what City of Bones like was. So like there was that, and then there's like, I think total in that Shadowhunter like world for books she's written, there's like 20 some, and like the newest one comes out this December. She's not
still going.
Wow. So there's the main 6, then there's 6 that come before, and there's 3 that come after, and then there's standalone ones about specific characters, and then there's a new trilogy coming out that's like supposed to wrap up the entire world.
Wow.
It's like never ending, which is why I feel like I loved it when I got into fantasy, because I was like, there's just so much to discover here.
Just keep spiraling with it.
And honestly, at that point, it was like all 20 of these things were published, so I was like, I could just keep reading without having to wait. So
that's the best.
I know, exactly. I was like, that's what I need.
Leah, I think we have to put it on our TBR list before the ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have to.
At least like book one. We've got to get through book one.
We got, so we have at least some semblance of like who these people are.
Yes.
Same thing. I feel like I have a vague memory of reading it on my old school Kindle.
Okay.
But I could tell you no characters' names. I could tell you nothing about it. So, yeah, definitely need to reread.
Yeah. All I remember is the main girl, her name is Claire, and that's all I've got.
Yeah.
Clary. Oh, I don't have the name right.
Cassandra Clare is the author, right? Cassandra Clare?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you were close, Jordan.
I was close.
It's in the wheelhouse.
I mean, chalk it up to pregnancy brain. It's fine.
You know what? I'm also just going to chalk it up to it's been 20 years. So I think that's okay.
There's that.
No, not 20 years. 15. Either
You're
way,
younger than me,
more
so
than
yeah.
a decade ago.
It's been a while.
So that is so cool. I love, let's quick circle back to the nonprofit part. That, geez, try to make me cry about it over here. My goodness, that's beautiful.
That's such a good idea.
I like the fact that the guests are the people who also get to kind of make that decision. So for me, that was an important part of a lot of times when you purchase something, they're like, oh, you can donate towards this, or any like business in my mind can like decide that they're going to like dedicate like, a portion of funds somewhere. And like, I love that. That's always an amazing idea. But I think it's also special when everybody who is purchasing a ticket can feel like they have a say a little bit in like where it's going. So then they kind of feel like they're a part of that like process. And especially when they get to like both nominate them as well as like vote on them. I think that's kind of fun. So
that's so true, because like, I feel like some people aren't even going to know what's even out there. So then just by getting to see what other people are nominating, that it'll open their eyes too to more options.
Kind of like if you're like looking into it a little bit too, like, oh, like, yeah, like if I don't know things that are out there, like what do I want to look? And then also like you're like spending time looking at these like amazing nonprofits that are doing really cool things. So
love it. That's so great. What a great name. What a great cause.
I know, man. We could end the interview right now. Like, that's so good. But we won't.
Good.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about this mini market beforehand? What does that all look like? What could people expect for that?
Yeah, so the market essentially is both fantasy and kind of craft artisans as well as local authors. So at our first Benevolent Ball in last October, we did everything at the ball itself. So all of the vendors were at the ball, so people only had about 3 hours to shop, but also too, you're walking around like a ball gown and you're trying to shop, but you're like, I don't really know where to put my stuff. And so I very quickly learned that one, people needed more time to shop and actually be able to like appreciate and look at everything, but two, they needed to just be able to shop, carry around bags, bring it back to the hotel or wherever they're staying, whatever, and like set it aside before the ball itself. So that's kind of what this year is going to be. So it's going to be a daytime market, and then it'll be for probably about like 6 hours, and then we'll have local authors, we'll have vendors, we'll do like, there'll be permanent jewelry, tattoos, all of the things, but people are able to then just like shop, walk around, do all the fun things, and have a little bit more time to actually appreciate that. The other nice thing about that too is our vendors didn't really get to experience and appreciate the ball. So like if they also want to attend, like, it also kind of like opens it up for them to be able to like actually get dressed up in like a way that doesn't have to be like, functional to serve their booth, but can just for themselves too. So yeah.
That is so thoughtful. My type A heart loves that. Like, you've evolved, you've seen an issue, and you're like, now I have a problem to solve it.
Yes.
What a good idea.
The other part too that I thought was like super interesting, and like going back to, we learned a ton of like, this was a 3-hour event, and tattoos, they only had, obviously, so we did like flash tattoos, and like they only had a very specific number of people they could do. I think they like only do like 40 something out of like the 350 attendees, and they sold out of their signups within 10 minutes of the doors opening. So that was the other
What?
That was the other part too, where I was like, okay, we need like more time for tattoos or something at least. So like it's nice that we'll be able to like offer it at the daytime market, but then still at the ball itself, there's still going to be like tarot, like art stuff and tattoos. So like we're still like both opportunities, but it kind of opens it up a little bit more at least to offer that, because it was highly desired apparently.
Yeah. Jordan, should we get tattoos?
I was like, Leah, do we have to start thinking about this?
I think so.
They're really fun, because they're like your small like flash tattoos that are like, and they made them all fantasy themed, because obviously they were like, we have a theme to run with. So like,
Yep.
it was great.
Wow.
I could be persuaded. I could be persuaded.
We'll have to see if one really catches my eye.
Yeah.
I could also
like
probably be persuaded, but my sister will be hella mad at me for getting a tattoo without her.
Does she want a sister tattoo? Tell her to come.
So I'll have to drag her with just to get the tattoo.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, no, this is my question though. So the market, since it's pre-ball, is it open to the public, or do you have to have a ticket to attend?
No, so the actual market itself will be free and open to the public. So that's kind of like one of the differences this year too. So like that's also a little bit more beneficial for vendors, because also like when it's a limited number of people, like sometimes it's a little bit riskier and a little scarier as like, especially like a small business owner or like vendor to be like, yeah, I can spend the money to produce, you know, the product for these things. So we're opening it up to the public so anybody can come. However, given that obviously the people who purchase tickets for the ball themselves, we want them to have a little bit more of an elevated experience. So there's going to be like ball guest exclusive things. So some vendors might have exclusive offerings for them. We're going to have actually like kind of an open craft station that people can participate in if they are like a ball attendee. So it kind of gives them an incentive of, yes, you bought your ticket, so you don't feel like you're being shunned a little bit, but also it makes it a little bit more beneficial and less scary to like the vendors that are putting in the effort and the time and the money to come and offer their stuff. So
wow.
You think of everything. That's so smart. Oh my gosh, that is brilliant. Wow. I'm so excited already.
That's so cool. So how many vendors do you have signed up so far?
Currently, I think we're sitting at about, I want to say like 13 or 14. And I think we have space for about 20 where we're at. So I very strongly believe we're going to fully fill spots. But it is like so fun, like the variety that we have. Like I said, there's like tattoos, there's like jewelry. We have a lot of like independent authors, which I think is super fun. And then like some other stuff kind of sprinkled in there too. But it's a good time to like, see it all come together and to see like the mix of like people who are like in this like super niche community of like bookish merch almost. And you're like, it's like handcrafted. You're like, I want all of this.
Yes.
So cool.
And I've never been to like, Jordan and I have been to like really small bookish vendor market things too. So this is, I'm so excited. This is going to be cool.
And we spent enough money at those ones.
We sure did. I can't wait to just blow through it out. Jordan, we're supporting local. We're supporting local, okay?
Yeah,
so
it's
fine.
Start budgeting, Leah. Like start
a fund
that
now.
Cash money. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Oh, found a quarter here. That's going in the fantasy fund. That's not a bad idea. Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk more about the costumes too, but we're going to save that for later.
Oh, yeah. That's
so let's just get a little bit more into like your role as the overseer, as the planner, as the queen bee. What is your official title, by the way? What do you like to be?
I just call myself like host because like because there's so many different facets of like, I have my hand in like everything, so I just call myself host, and I just because technically I'm like owner of the brand, but like it's like, kind of like umbrellaed underneath my like other actual wedding business, so I just like it's separate. So I just call myself the host essentially.
That makes perfect sense. I love it.
Hostess, I don't know.
The hostess with the mostest. So as the hostess with the mostest, like how far in advance? Okay, so you knew this was coming in November 2026. How far back have you been orchestrating, planning, getting your duckies in a row for this?
Yes. So I was going to say with like theme and like idea brainstorming, like 2 years. Because kind of starting top tier, I need to know like what look I want for the event, which means I have to think about the theme and all the stuff, because then that's going to influence the venue I pick, the decor, all of the vendors that are hired, the ambiance, all of that kind of stuff. But like actual logistics for this event itself was about like a year. Because I had the first Benevolent Ball last October, and then in November I was touring venues, booking things, getting stuff situated. And then once like the date and all of like kind of large scale details were underway, we like launched our ticket sales for Black Friday, so like people could kind of get it in for the holidays. But so like large scale logistics was like about a year out, so that's kind of my like typical timeline. I feel like because I'm in like the wedding industry, my brain works in year to 2 years out kind of way.
Makes a ton of sense.
Because me hearing that, I'm like so over. So like, are you, as you're planning this one, do you already have another one like in the works?
I have
for,
like all of like the brainstorm theme ideas. I have like 3 or 4 ideas of what it could be. but then I have to figure. Because I also kind of go where the dopamine goes. So I'm like, okay, this idea sounds really cool. And then I'm like, okay, but we have an event to plan, Samantha. We got to go back here. And I'm like, this
sit back.
potential magic system situation could be, and I just I'm like, okay,
oh my gosh.
It's like we need to back up.
Oh my gosh.
Do you just have like spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets?
I
like,
know.
How do you keep track of all of it?
Word dump on Google Doc kind of girl, but yes.
Oh, that's me. Yeah. Jordan,
Like,
you're probably the spreadsheet queen, right? You're more into that.
Yeah, I would do it in spreadsheets.
No, I like the doc. You can like voice text too, so you can just be like lounging, and be like, blah, 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 blah.
We could also add.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that is so exciting. So how long have you been a wedding planner for?
Yeah, so I've been in like the wedding / event industry for about like 7 years. In college, I like interned with the Minnesota Vikings. I was like part of their like event day team for like PR stuff. And I worked on like career services on campus, and I was like in charge of helping the career. Also, I've been in the events world forever. Post college, I worked at Green Bay Botanical Garden, where I helped day of coordinate 50 weddings a summer, and I ended up transitioning into coordinating concerts and their like big light show and all the stuff. And then kind of started my own thing on the side with weddings, and that's kind of where I jumped in. And so that's what I do now full time technically, is I just run my business. But the ball kind of came about as like a needing an escape from kind of the monotony and of like everyday stuff, and I was like, I think I could do one of these, and so I just kind of jumped in, and like I did a little bit of a test of where the interest lied with it, and there was a lot of people who were interested in like something like this happening here. So I was like, cool, okay, let's do it. So here we are.
Yeah, that is
Wow.
so interesting to me, that there are so many different careers out there for so many different people with so many specific skill sets. Like, that's so cool that you can do that. You can make that happen.
I will say, I definitely, like, my husband is a huge support in the sense that he's like he has the health insurance and does like the job that's stable, and then I just dance around over here like a princess, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy a ball gown. Like, I don't know.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. So event planning, you just jumped into it and never looked back. You're just like,
Pretty
nope.
much. Yes.
This is what I'm meant to do.
There's always like an energy about it, and there's always people you're meeting and talking to, and like I think again part of like I realized there's a part of me that's very much a homebody, and I love being home around my people and just kind of like comfortable. But then if I'm gonna leave, if I'm gonna spend money on something, I want it to be something I'm going to remember. I'm big on experiences, I'm big on travel, and so the idea of being able to do like events where you're like, it's not your everyday, I'm going out to, get food or whatever it is. It's something to kind of take a piece with you, and whether that's pictures that you took at the event or whatever, it's something that stays with you longer. So
iconic, yes. All of that, yes. Oh man. So okay, give us just kind of the rundown of all the things. You talked about the venue, you talked about the mini market, but like what else do you have to arrange and organize to make this happen?
Yeah, so again, starting from, oh gosh, I have like, there's so many things. Just the ball itself to like happen and run. There's probably 12 to like 20 different vendors between food, beverage, venue, all of the performers, DJ. There's ticket sales. I have to deal with like a rep every once in a while when like things go weird. Like there's just like, so there's a ton of stuff there. And then you have to like break it down to like, okay, and then we have like our storyline and cast. So there's story creation, working with the person I'm working with to make sure that this happens, our 9 cast members. There's all of that, and then there's, the 3 social media channels that I'm trying to, like, push things out on, and all of the layouts, logistics, timelines, like, of all of that, just the ball itself. And then there's the market that has however many vendors, and, like, so there's, like, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, all
I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed just listening to this. This is so much.
It is.
But this is so
lot,
interesting.
And I think that's, like, again, we're like, also though, it's like, it is supposed to be this super over the top event. You're supposed to walk in, feel like you're in a different world. So it's definitely something where the decor is really big, the immersive experience is really big. So those are things that definitely take a bulk of the focus to make sure that you're not coming to this and you're feeling like I'm an everyday. You're supposed to walk in and be like, I am Nyx of the fairy now. I don't know, like I'm not me. I'm not who I am anymore. I'm in a different world. So that's
man, I'm excited to not be me. Yes, that's cool. I mean, I like me, but I also like fairy princess me.
yeah.
So.
I mean, I was gonna say you can still be you, but like elevated.
Elevate.
Like,
Yes.
Oh,
You're the fantasy
man.
you, Leah.
Yeah, you're the fantasy you. The you that opened the book and all of a sudden you were like, and you just clicked in.
Bam. Ooh, that's a fun reel. Jordan, we should do that.
Those are,
Like when
I
we're
see
in
those
a-
videos
when
all
we're
the
in a
time and I think they're the
street
best
close-
thing ever and I'm like, I love those. They're so good. They're
Yes,
like,
and then we jump out of the book and we're in our costumes.
Oh, that's
can't
fun.
wait.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. We're just all like, "Meh, we're just so everyday.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is like really when she says, you said, the monotony of your everyday, which is
Oh, yeah.
wedding planning. And I think, weddings are just not. They're like.
I will say some of that too is like, like dishes, laundry, like to go, like, you know what I mean? Like the stuff that is like cleaning your toilet. I don't know, like
Yeah.
the stuff that like nobody wants. Just, it's all and like there's like so much in the world itself that you're like, just, when we can just ignore everything that goes on for a little bit, take a break.
Bingo, I'm here for that. Yeah.
Like heal your inner child a little bit in the sense that just needs like to feel happy and joy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. Treat yourself. Yes. So, all right, we got like 6-7 months left. What is still on that massive 16-page to-do list?
It is a lot of like finalizing like decor plans and all of that kind of stuff. For the most part, the timeline and the layout and things that for the most part are like, figured out because we have our performers, we have our cast, we have like most of our vendors. It's kind of just like the small details now. So our venue is the Epic Event Center in Green Bay. And so because we're in Wisconsin and because people at my first ball made it very clear to me that they liked that it was local, I wanted to stay here and not go spread out. Wisconsin, if you didn't know, being in our nice little flat level Midwest, we don't have castles, or like we don't have a ton of really unique, special historical venues that can hold enough people. Because you can find some, but it's like, oh, our guest capacity is like 150, which means like add ball gowns and wings, that's like maybe 75.
Yeah.
So we needed a place that could, it's like a totally different capacity.
You gotta spread out. Yeah, I need my space. Everybody get away.
So when I like was looking for a place, I needed like high enough capacity, but then I was like, okay, maybe I look for blank canvas. And that's kind of the way that I went this year. So the Epic Event Center is a rock concert venue, which fit like the we're going dark, moody, like Fractured Heavens Masquerade kind of theme.
Sure.
But I was like, it's also pretty blank in the sense that I can fully decorate the space. So we're doing like really big like ceiling draping with like like I don't even know how to describe it to people. Like it's we're just doing ceiling draping, wall draping. We're like kind of transforming the space so that it doesn't quite feel like it. The other nice part about being at the Epic is that because it's like a concert venue, I get like help from their like on-site production team with like lighting and all of that kind of stuff. So like we get to kind of have a little bit of like elevated like dramatic lighting, some like effects and things like while we're doing like stuff throughout the night. So I feel like that's also really going to help with that immersive feeling of like Jordan, I love your face
Jordan's
right now.
face, I know. I was like, are you frozen?
like, so like
I'm
that's kind of what's coming next. We're working on those more fine details of what everything's officially going to look and how all of it's going to come together that way. So
I can tell you this will be the most unique experience I'll ever go to.
For sure.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
I'm
like,
again, you've thought through so many things that would not have occurred to me in the slightest. Like, I'm so impressed.
I'm nearly speechless, and that's not a great place to be on a podcast.
Just dumbfounded.
Yeah, okay. So you did mention capacity for wing space. Let's talk about costumes.
Oh, I've been waiting for this part. Yes.
Yeah.
So, tell us how to dress.
Okay, so like top normal part of this or whatever, the dress code is formal fantasy. It's kind of what it's called. So essentially what that means on like bare bones is like floor length dresses, suits, like it's still kind of like that gala level like formal wear, but we're adding that fantasy twist to it. So that could look like a ball gown with wings and a crown, and I mean it can be whatever you want, but also if someone wanted to come in a full suit of armor, like that counts. So like, the range is like epic. It just needs to be like I think the best advice I could give is that when you are either, buying or creating your outfit, you're thinking like whatever your character you come up with in your mind, whether it's you or you're playing a character, if this is something that you could wear to like a royal ball type deal, like in a book or in a like a movie or a world or whatever, like then it's fine. Like it passes the like check. I also like to kind of go into the realm of, we had one person last year who made their entire costume head to toe, and they were like a court jester, and they were like super nervous it wasn't going to be, and I was like, no, you're fine, like that's perfect.
It's cool.
And it was amazing. So it's like, I think if you can get super creative out there and like do something that seems a little bit off the wall, but that's perfect. I love that.
As long as you're like under that umbrella, like fantasy
it feels
land.
formal. And like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not showing up in jeans and a t-shirt.
No. Yeah.
Put in the work,
like,
put in the effort.
Yes. I was gonna say, and we're pretty stern about our dress code too, because we're trying to protect the integrity of the immersive feel of the event. Because again, it's every person that comes in is also like adding to that immersive experience. So it's like, you know, we don't want that to get to, like, to take away from anything too. So, but
absolutely. So do you have suggestions of where people could get an outfit like this? Like, do you go to Etsy? Do you repurpose a prom dress? Like, what are you seeing people do for this?
I've seen pretty much everything. I've seen things from people buying fabric and making their own thing from a pattern they bought. I've seen people order off of Amazon, because again, also like budget wise, it kind of depends on like what you can afford, but you can definitely run with that. Like that's awesome. Some people go to Etsy, some people buy from Selkie, like sites like that are a little bit like higher end if they have the budget for that. But otherwise, I've definitely seen people like thrift old wedding dresses, dye them. Like, I mean, you can definitely get creative in whatever sense and like whatever budget you have, you can make it work. So
okay, can I tell you what I'm thinking right now?
Yes, I would love to hear it. Yes.
Jordan and I are thinking we're going to repurpose our actual wedding gowns.
Yes.
And like, like do that. Because you're not going to wear your wedding gown again ever. So it's just sitting in a box. It's sitting in a box right now.
We had at least one person last year who did that. That's like she did. She was like air quotes. She wore her old, like her wedding dress. She's like, this is like wear number 2. Like never thought I'd have that again. And I was like, I love that for you. So
yeah. For sure. I'm already started a Pinterest board. I was like, okay, how do I repurpose this? Because I don't want to dye the whole thing. Because I had a big ball gown, like it is big. So my step one is I'm actually going to cut a lot of that tulle away, because I am not about hauling that big donk around. I did it once, and oh my gosh, Paul, at the end of our wedding, we're driving to the hotel. And he's like, let's stop at Taco Bell. I was like, oh, I gotta get out of this. Like, is that the bone corset too? I would not let him stop at Taco Bell on our wedding night. We had to go home so I could get it off my body.
So funny.
And it does not zip anymore. But it's a corset back, so I can make it work. I think I got
right? It's fine.
Yeah, I got like a cloak situation I can throw over it. Yeah, Ooh, I've got ideas. Oh, I'm so excited.
My other thing I will say is, a lot of times, some people, like less is more. No, more is more in fantasy. Like more is more. You want to put, you want to wear like some fae ears. Yes. You want to add a crown. Also, yes. You want to add earrings. Yes.
Crown.
Like everything. Yeah. Like more is just more.
This is my jam.
That's my advice.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be dripping in jewels. Oh
yeah, we have to get crowns. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of times in your life that you can have a reason to go back into like how you would have loved to dress up as a kid. You're like, I would have loved to put on ears and fairy wings and like carry a staff. I don't know, you know what I mean? All of the things that you would have loved to have dressed up for like Halloween as a kid, or maybe this was just like your everyday, like I'm fairy princess, great. But you don't get to do that, and so then to be able to actually now come into this and be like, I can do this as an adult who has a deeper appreciation for the genre, like yes.
Oh my gosh. Like the fact that these things even exist is blowing my middle school mind, and I could cry from happiness right now. Like, this is everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah, I do feel like there has to be a way for me to carry my Luna Lovegood wand around.
Yes.
You need to bring it. You need to bring it, yeah.
Wands, I'm just realizing, are not conductive to just like, where do they go?
Abby,
I'm gonna like.
You need your
this
satchel.
is the part of me that watched Wizards of Waverly Place. You could just do like an Alex Russo and stick it in a boot.
There you go. That was literally my next question. What are we doing about footwear? Because I feel like boots are, the general thing, but like, is that weird? I don't. Tell me.
No, so I will say people do a variety of stuff. Some people wear heels, some people wear boots, some people do like sparkly sneakers. Because again, you're thinking about it too. You're gonna potentially be on your feet for 3 to 4 or 5 hours, whatever it is. So you want to be somewhat comfortable because you cannot take your shoes off. That's the only caveat.
Gross. Thank you. Good.
I know. I will say, which not that I'm, I guess, like, out there with binoculars, like, watching, but we're in a public venue, so it's more like this, like, concerts happen here. I wouldn't necessarily take your shoes off. But, like, be comfortable, but you want it to kind of, like, match the outfit. So, like, boots are a really great way to do that, because especially with, like, the fantasy-esque, like, world, like, that just fits. So.
Okay. Yeah. I'm already thinking. I got the perfect boots.
No, it's okay. One other thing now that I think you talked about the wand, and now my brain's going, like, accessory, like, things. Yeah. Because also I feel like in fantasy, everybody loves a good sword. But that's like the one other caveat is weapons technically aren't allowed. So if you want to do it, my recommendation always is if you have a sword or a dagger or something that's really amazing and you want to do pictures with it, do it pictures prior to when you come. Don't even worry about bringing it. Because nothing real can come in. Everything that's a prop, basically, it's basically pew-pews and swords, daggers, not allowed.
Those are no.
those are a no. You'll have to go back to wherever you brought them from. But you can like coat check. So like if you bring like a wand or like a staff, or honestly if you're wearing fairy wings and you're like, I get really tired of these, like all of those items can be coat checked if you want to. Otherwise you can carry them through our sponsor for the event. So like the ball's title sponsor is like Hebner Consulting, and he is like the biggest nerd that you would never expect to be a nerd, and he has this like 6 foot tall staff with like an orb at the top, and it's amazing. He like I remember year 1, he's like, I have this staff, like I'm gonna be able to bring it, right? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure, like I'm bringing it. And I was like, no, that's great, please do. And it makes it really easy to find him. He's also like, he's like over 6 foot, so it's like I just like have to look for like the really tall man with a really tall staff. There he is. That's our sponsor.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So like no weapons, but like other like prop, like accessory type things are fine. So. Yeah. That brings me then, we don't have this on our question sheet, but where do you get the talent from? Where do you find these people to play these characters? Are you hunting for them? Are they coming to you? Do they audition? What's the process here? Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. So one of our cast members, her name is Elizabeth. She goes by the Cursed Fae on her social media channel. We follow her, Jordan, on Instagram. She's awesome. From Green Bay. Yeah. Okay. So she's local. She reached out to me originally being like, hey, like I'm kind of interested in like collaborating with you on something. And I was like, great, because I don't know anything about theater. Like that's not where I don't have a background in. I never participated in high school, and I was like, and if we're gonna do like a storyline that's kind of theatrical in the sense, I would love to have somebody who has that background, and she does. So we ended up meeting, and I was like, great, like let's do this. Sounds great. And so we ended up posting a casting call on our social media channels, and then like, cosplayers from everywhere just submitted. Oh, that's so cool! Wow, like 50 or 60 people applied. So they submitted the actual like kind of application form, and then we basically just requested like a 2 to 3 minute like video audition of like some sort, like however you wanted to kind of go about it. There was like prompts they could do, and then we like sat down, we reviewed them, like we looked at like they had to come up with like an original character. So that's the other fun part about like the ball that we're like kind of doing these original stories is like we also are like letting them create a character, and like we're merging them to bring them to life like all together and like kind of like this intermingled story. And so they all came up with that. We like did some casting calls, kind of like interviews in a sense, and then we like found our cast, and now they're all in like a little group chat, and they can talk about stuff, and like I'm very excited. They're kind of coming from all over the place too. Some are like one's from Arizona, some are like kind of local to Wisconsin, some are down in like Tennessee. I mean, so they're all leveling like to come here, which is awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
That's so cool.
So cool. Oh my gosh, I'm getting excited. Okay. So who should attend this ball? Like if someone is on the fence about whether or not this is for me, what advice or what thoughts do you have for them?
Okay, so I always say that like you know you're gonna like it and have a good time if you're into fantasy, like in general. If you like live events, festivals, things like that, this is another really great, just simple live event for you. And if that's kind of your world, you already know you like. The other thing I like to say too, though, is like if you're on the fence, you might not be into fantasy. If you enjoy like music performances, things like that, this is still a really great way to experience that, but in kind of a one-of-a-kind kind of way, because again, like, these are all original themes. Like, we'll probably never do a Fractured Heavens Masquerade again. It's all kind of a one-of-a-kind experience. And I had a friend last year who came, and she brought her boyfriend, and he was, like, not excited about this. He's like, I'm going because I love you. Like, that's, like, whatever. Aww. And then at the end of the night, he came up, he's like, hey, so when's the next one? Because he had a good blast. Because he was like, we all got to dress up. This was kind of cool. You know, he felt like it was weird at first, but then when you're in a room of 350 people, or whatever the number was, of people who are into fantasy, who like the same things, who are, like, just open to being themselves and enjoying the night, like, I mean, how can you not have fun? That's how I like to look at it, too. And I'm like, it's also, again, these are all things that I feel like fantasy was stuff people got made fun of for in, like, middle school. You weren't cool, or like, you had to, like, closet it a little bit because you were like, we can't like these things. That's not the cool thing. But I feel like when you're in a space with people, everybody there loves this. Like, everything is fully, like, accepted. Everybody's so welcoming. You make friends with all these people you'd never met. It's just a very, like, cool, unique experience. So I think, like, honestly, anybody who thinks it might be a good time, like, yes, like, you should come.
It would be a good time. Oh man, you just let your nerd out. Oh, that is so exciting. Okay, so I mean, you kind of walked us through, like, people who have never been to fantasy balls before, what they can expect. Are there, I'm just, you know, from a logistic point, are there places, like, to sit too? I'm just thinking, is this like a middle school dance where, like, you got a big open area and then there's kind of tables off to the back? What's kind of the physical setup?
Yeah, so I was going to say, so there's always some areas for seating just because you kind of need it when you're doing something like that's, like, this long. But there is still going to be a larger open space because a lot of people do really enjoy dancing at these things. But also there's, like, the activity. So there's, like, the really large stage. This is the nice part about being at the Epic. There's a giant stage because it does concerts. So, like, a lot of our live performance and, like, aspects like that are able to happen on stage, and then the dance floor is able to be open for people to dance. We do have a group dance that takes up, like, the entire thing. People will march out to do the choreographed group dance, and then there'll still be, like, tables and stuff. So our VIP guests, when they come, there's meal and everything that's provided for them. So there's, like, tables that they're able to set their stuff on, but then there'll be some additional seating. There's an upper mezzanine area at the Epic Event Center that has, like, additional tables and seating as well up there. So, like, one, if you also want to just, like, go up so you can, like, people watch and see kind of what's going on from a different angle, you're able to go up there. But also you can, like, sit down or whatever kind of with that situation there too. So
cool. That's awesome. So yeah, so the food and drink situation. So VIPs get dinner?
Yes. So the VIPs, their ticket you come in at 5:00. There is a, like, kind of dinner service type thing, and then the rest of the individuals who are coming as a part of kind of like general admission or that mid ticket tier, there is still service of, like, appetizers throughout the night. So there's appetizers for everybody to eat. There's going to be, like, a whole dessert station. I partnered with, like, a local bakery, so she's doing, like, all these, like, themed, like, cookies and kind of things that'll kind of be fun and available for people. And then drink-wise, there is, like, an open cash bar for everybody. VIPs, though, they do, like, that's, like, fully open bar for them. They can order whatever they want. It's included in their ticket. And then there's, like, a mid-tier that's a kind of version of in-between where, like, some stuff is hosted, some is cash bar. So, but they're also all themed. Through my sponsor, he's amazing. I love him. His name is Nathan. He does a million things for me. He has me, like, partnering with somebody that he knows who, like, owns, like, a like, distillery. She's, like, a bartender there, so she's, like, kind of coming up with the actual, like, crafted cocktails so that they're super thematic and feel very, like,
nice,
fantastical. Like, so it's just, like, fun. So, like, everything, again, going back to that immersive experience, everything is very well thought out throughout the entire night.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a great time. I love a good themed drink. That's the best.
That's going to be,
I mean, that also just makes it better.
So let's talk a little bit about the ticket situation. Where can I get them? You told us a little bit about the tiers. How soon in advance do I need to get them? Do you sell them at the door? That was like four questions in one.
So first question about where you can get them so if you go to any of our social media, you'll be able to find the link to our website, which is the benevolentevents.com. You can go on there. Tickets are for sale right now. When you go into, like, our website, I will say the other part too is, like, you do need to be 18 plus to attend. So, like, on the day of the event, you have to be 18. But, like, when you go to buy tickets, you can't even buy them if you're under 18. Like, we enter your birth date or whatever. So, like, kind of is a reminder to you. But So, like, you can buy them on our website. We don't sell tickets at the door. I will say we have to have final counts in to all of our vendors. It's like 4 weeks out or something like that. Additionally, too, because everybody gets like a swag bag. We have to make sure that's all prepped and stuff. So all of like the ticket sales end 4 weeks prior to the actual event date. So that's bare minimum. The last date you can buy, which I think is October 18th or something like that. That's probably the wrong date, but I'm gonna throw it out there.
Somewhere
sounds
there.
Right.
Yeah.
But so, like, you have to buy before that, but I will also say, too, like, the sooner you get it, I feel like the easier it is for you to plan the rest of your stuff, especially if you're thinking about attire or you're thinking about kind of what court you might want to be a part of or some of those things. I think sometimes if you know you're going and you have your ticket, like, you know that everything's set, because if tickets sell out, there is a limited capacity of them. So, like, I would say... the panic. So I would say, like, if you're wanting to come and you're able to afford your ticket, I would say, like, you know, purchase it just so you can kind of get that head start with it. The other thing I will say too is like VIP has a lot smaller of a like availability, so those always sell out first and they will be gone at some point. So that's kind of my recommendations there, I guess.
You said pick your court. Do you pick your court when you are purchasing your ticket or on the event night?
So you kind of pick it for the event. So we are not making anybody select their court at the time of checkout this year. We did last year because like certain things were themed or whatever to each individual person. But based on our experience from last year, we're not doing that this year. So we kind of give people a little bit more time to like decide what they want to do. Because some people wanted to switch courts because as they started like planning their outfit, they were like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this instead or whatever it is. So you kind of just like get to go into the actual event having whatever theme you want for that night.
Ooh, okay.
I'm just looking at the website right now. Yep, there it is. We'll link all of that too in our show notes, everybody, so you'll be able to find it, and we'll tag obviously Samantha and everything that we're posting with this too. I'm getting stoked.
Ace, what are you most excited about?
I feel like on a personal note, I'm most excited for my husband to be able to actually come this year because he was deployed last year. So he wants to plan all of this, but then he didn't get to go. So like he just knew it was happening and I sent him like pictures afterwards, but like, he actually gets to like be there this year to like see it come to life, which I feel like is, for me, it's kind of fun because I'm like, this is all the hard work I did and you get to like, see it actually happening. This is what you support me in doing. But when it actually comes to the event itself, I think I'm just like super excited to like see people who came last year because I already like can like some of the people who've already bought tickets or people who came last year and like they like just are really excited to come again, but also to like continue meeting new people because especially over like the course of like a 2-day like type event, like you get to just like really meet a lot of wonderful people and it's super fun, and I think that's probably the part I'm most excited about.
Yeah,
I love
that sounds
it.
amazing.
That's so great. Yeah.
Okay. I had one more question that popped into my mind.
Yeah.
Do you have your costume figured out and picked out yet?
See, I have a vision in my mind, but I haven't actually started working on it yet because like I want to so I want to do, okay, I'm going back to my Shadowhunter roots, okay, a little bit. I've always been like in the like angel like kind of, I just think that's super cool and I want a reason to wear really big angel wings. I want to be in like the Radiant Court. I want to do like a full like armored angel kind of vibe, but I feel like I'd have to make armor and I don't know how well I could do that. So that's where I'm at this point where I could buy it, but I'm like, I feel like making it would be cheaper, but I don't know how it would go. So I'm in between. I don't know. I might totally like can that idea and dress and do and just go as the fallen and be like, this is what it is. So, but
so I already bought these. Can you see these like sleeves?
See, those are so
Kind of.
fun.
Yeah, that I figured that's gonna go with my wedding because they're white, right? So like
more is more. I like it.
But I want to get some colored tulle, like a colored tulle belt to kind of go over the white, so it's not just pure white, you know, so it doesn't look too wedding dressy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I like it. That sounds great.
I haven't given it as much thought as Leah.
Well, also you were still pregnant, so you can't like even try on your dress.
Yes. I still have to figure out my nursery.
Like occupied. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year I had my baby in July, and so like the ball was in October, so I was like 12 weeks postpartum, so like I had someone making my dress, and she was like, do you have your measurements yet? And I was like, give me like a little bit to like see what happened.
Yeah, where are things gonna shake out?
Yeah.
But,
another factor, Jordan, because you're doing July too, so you'll get an extra month though because it's in November this year.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. This was just a delight and so enlightening, and I am way more excited than I even was before, which is something to say because I have been so excited since I saw that ad on Instagram. I was like, oh, is this for real?
I'm very glad you guys are talking to me about this though too, because it's really fun to like share all of like the behind the scenes details too, because like well, one, nobody really wants to know all the time. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they're like, that's a lot of information and overwhelming, and I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think it also might help for people who maybe will feel sticker shock if they've never looked at a fantasy ball.
It kind of shows a little bit of, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of cards that put on a ball, so it kind of is, you're getting what you're paying for, I will say. Like, it sometimes is shocking, but if you think about going to a concert, you spend a similar amount of money to see one artist perform for like an hour or two. That's kind of how I try to compare it sometimes. Of like, you're going to see multiple performances, you're getting a full storyline, like that you can participate in, happening throughout the night. Food and or drinks in some capacity are provided and included. So there's a lot that you're getting with your ticket that makes it worth what you're getting.
It's a really good analogy. Yes, like comparing it to a concert, or like, you know, like going to see a Broadway show or something like that, where you're just sitting and you have to pay so much extra for your drinks too, and like snacks. Right.
I was gonna say, and it's also such a like a niche like thing right now too. Like, they're not super common and happening everywhere, so it is kind of like it's like, and it's a smaller sample sale. Like, it's not like I can't host 1,000 people for this event. Like, it's a smaller number, so like it has to, you know, it has to be worth being able to do this and like make it actually like repeatable and happen multiple times, because like I don't want to just be one and done and we disappear from the face of the earth and it never happens again.
Right.
So
totally.
Because this is cool, and the fact that it's here in Green Bay is even cooler. The closest one I saw one happened, I think, in the spring, and it was in like Beloit, you know, which is 3 hours away from us. I don't know. It's far away.
That's the other company that popped up. She had one last November too, but it was in Beloit, and she's kind of like south of the state, kind of by Illinois. So
we are super excited. Thank you so much for talking to us today and giving us the insight. Your brain must just be full of everything.
It's like that and like mom brain, so it's mixed with like diapers. Like, it
just yeah. That is kudos to you, girl. Wow, that's impressive.
Wonderful. Well, it was so great chatting with you today, Samantha.
You too.
I think we might try to get maybe another episode with Samantha a little bit closer too, and you know, maybe get a little more sneak peeky type things to nudge those maybe people who are sitting on the fence about buying tickets or not. Be like, no, you need to go to this. Amazing. Well, thank you so much. This was so lovely and so insightful.
Thank you so much. It was great talking with you both.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you later, I guess.